Indies will be looking to lever their two-match test series against South Africa when the second match begins at the Wanderers in Johannesburg, 3 a.m. Jamaica time on Wednesday morning. Having lost the first test match, at least two changes are expected to make in the team for the second match. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. Please slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. It is free to click and you click. Now, I actually make two changes 11 for this second test match, barring injuries. I heard someone said in the chat a few days ago that Chase has an injury. I have checked and I've double checked and I've read and I've researched and I've not seen it came up. It could be true that he has an injury, but I've not seen it. Therefore, I'm going with the fact that having not heard anything more about the injury, it appears that it was a minor injury and it will not stop him from playing in the second test match. We all know that top-class sports persons, top-class athletes, world-class athletes, oftentimes compete with injury. It is said that a top-class or world-class athlete always run, walk, bat, bowl, whatever their sport is, with some nigger or some injuries. So if Chase has a slight injury, I expect him to be in the team. Now, in selecting the team for the second test match, I try to second guess the West Indies selectors. You cannot include players in your 11 that are not in South Africa. In including players in my 11, I have to pick from the 11 that in South Africa. So while our favorite player may not be in South Africa, and we'd love to see our favorite player in the team, the bottom line is the 15 that are in South Africa, that's the 11, that's the 15 that the 11 will be chosen from. And so no one will have an issue with Craig Brathwaite and Tej Narayan Chanderpaul. They, however, need to come to the party. I pointed out last week that since that wonderful 336 runs partnership, which made us all proud, that between Brathwaite and Chanderpaul, they have batted 8 times since, and the highest score was 36. This is unsatisfactory from our openers. This is mediocrity. 8 innings and no one of them has passed 50. We congratulate them for that massive partnership. And for a long time, they have been the mainstay of our innings at the top of the order for the past 6 test matches. However, we need a higher level of consistency from these, our openers. Mediocrity cannot be the standard. And I hope in this test match, at least one of them will get a century. Their game is not under pressure at the moment, but they need to come and be more consistent. We need a good score for at least one of our openers in this second test match. So I will start with Brathwaite and Chanderpaul. Raymond Reifer is our number 3. In his last 3 test matches, Reifer had scored an half century in each of those test matches. So ideally, Reifer has to be number 3 because we pick our team not on who we like and not on our favorite player, but we pick our team based on the performance of the player. Although he gave away his wicket twice in that first test match, the fact is he is our most consistent batsman over the past 3 test matches, and he should be bat at number 3. Jermaine Blackwood, who scored 79 in the second innings of that first test, is at number 4. Now there are question marks hanging over Ruston Chase. A number of persons do not think that Chase should be in the team. A large number of persons want to see Chase drop from the 11. But may I remind you that Chase scored a 70 in the test match against Zimbabwe before the South Africa match. And I think the West Indies selectors are going to play Chase as long as he's fit, and is able to take part in the game. Ruston Chase will play. And the West Indies selectors will say that he's the only off spinner there. He is the only genuine off spinner in the squad in South Africa. So if Chase is fit, Chase will play. Chase will play. At number 6 where my first change will come in. I will leave out Myers after a string of poor performances. And you can check back and realize that since Myers made the 148 against Bangladesh in that second test match, Myers has not passed 40 since then. And he has not been bowling for one reason or the other enough as he used to bowl. In looking at things from the eye test, I think that Myers is probably ahead of Older in his bowling. But Myers have not been bowling as much for me to keep him in the team ahead of Older. And his batting performances, as I said, since that 148 against Bangladesh, he has not passed 40. And that includes one test match against Australia, 2 against Zimbabwe, and the first one here against South Africa. So I'm going to replace Myers with Devon Thomas. Now, Devon Thomas played 1 test match in Australia. He made 12 and 16. Not good. That's not the standard. We want our batsmen to make more runs. But I believe that if you're going to pick someone for the test team, and Devon Thomas was picked on the test team after scoring 414 runs in our regional 4-day tournament last year. He made 1 century, 112, which was his highest total, and he has a strike rate in the 90s. He was justifiably selected for the West Indies squad. No doubt about that. If our regional 4-day tournament is where we select players from to represent the West Indies, Devon Thomas was legitimately selected for the West Indies squad. I don't think that you should give a player 1 match and throw him away. The minimum the person should get is 2 consecutive matches. Not 1 match here and 1 match there. The person needs 2 consecutive match minimum. You may give him 3, but my standard is 2 consecutive match minimum, which is 4 innings. He made 16 and 12 in Australia, but he was dropped for the Zimbabwe series and he did not play in the South Africa first test match. Therefore, he needs 2 consecutive matches. I don't think that Thomas disgraced himself in Australia. As I said, it was not the standard. 16 and 12 cannot be the standard. But I think he looks very good in Australia. He shaped up well, and he looked like he gives one confidence when he was batting. So I would have Thomas at number 6 instead of Myers. Joshua Da Silva is the wicketkeeper, and having taken a record 7 dismissal in 1 innings, in the second innings of the South African second innings, Joshua Da Silva, although giving his wicket away in both matches, and giving his wicket away in both matches against South Africa, and people have been calling for him to be dropped because he gave away his wicket in both innings. But I believe in second chances. And someone like Da Silva, who have contributed consistently, it's easy to look past those 2 bad strokes that got him out and play him in this match. So Da Silva, I do not think that Da Silva game is under threat. I do not think that, in honesty and without favoritism and looking at the cricket, Da Silva game should not be under threat. So those who are calling for Da Silva to be replaced by Thomas, unless you're going to play Da Silva as a straight-out batsman, but you cannot take the gloves away from Da Silva. He has done nothing to deserve a drop. We must be honest. We must be fair. We must have standard. And Da Silva has been performing very well. I would have liked to go on with Hakeem Jordan instead of Jason Holder. But as I said, I am second-guessing the West Indies selectors in South Africa. Craig Brathwaite, I'm told, is the man who decides on the final 11. While he gets contribution from Coley and the vice captain, the 11 that is on the field is really Craig Brathwaite 11. And second guessing Craig Brathwaite, he's not going to drop Jason Holder. I would have preferred Hakeem Jordan, but or Gabriel. I would have definitely preferred Gabriel over Holder. And as a third choice, I would prefer Hakeem Jordan over Holder. Holder will be number 3 on my list. But Holder is going to play. Alzara Joseph, as we know, is the leader of the attack. Gudakesh Moti, if fit, should come back into this team quite comfortable. There's no doubt that he will come back in the team once he's past fit. Some of us believe that he was not unfit, but we have to go with the official release from Cricket West Indies. We cannot be superstitious. We may not have a lot of confidence in Cricket West Indies, but if Cricket West Indies release an official statement that Gudakesh Moti has a back injury, we need to accept that for what it is, unless Gudakesh Moti should come out and say something different. At number 11 is Slider. Slider Kemar Roach, who slid through that South African batting in the second innings, deserved his game in the team. As I said on many occasions, I would not have had Slider in South Africa, but that second innings performance, congratulations to Kemar Roach for getting, I think, his first 5 wicket all overseas. If it's not the first, it would only be second, but it cannot be more than that. But to the best of my knowledge, this is Kemar Roach first 5 wicket all in an innings in an overseas test. So there is my 11 for the second test. Brathwaite, Chanderpaul, Reefer, Blackwood, Chase, Thomas, Da Silva, Holder, Joseph, Moti, and Roach. Barring injury, barring unforeseen circumstances, that would be my 11. The match has been played at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. And I've done a little research, and of the 38 test matches that played there, the team batting first have won 7, and the team batting second have won 11 of the 38. It means, therefore, the other 10 have been drawn. The highest first inning score at the Wanderers is 310, and as you see on the screen there, and the highest fourth inning score is 208. This is telling me that if you win the toss at the Wanderers, you bat first. It's a small field, it's a fast outfield. It is usually good for both batting and bowling. Batsmen can make runs. The highest team total at the Wanderers was 652, and the lowest was 49 made by Pakistan. So I really expect this to be a very, very close match. I believe that West Indies can beat South Africa. I do think that if we play the game seriously, we concentrate every delivery, we can definitely beat South Africa. If we win the toss, I'm expecting us to bat first. On the first morning, Wednesday, it will be partly cloudy. There's no expectation of rain, although it will be partly cloudy on Wednesday with about 26 degrees Celsius. For the other 4 days, the temperature will go up by about 2 or 3 degrees to make it in the very high 20s. But there will be no chance of rain. They say that is almost less than 10% chance of rain for the entire test match. So there's every opportunity that we'll have 5 days play if the match lasts that long. As I said, this is my 11. I expect this to be the 11 that West Indies will put forward. Expect that if you win the toss, you bat and try and make over 300, anywhere between 300 and 350. Please remember to slash a like on the video and share and click on that subscribe button. You click only once and you are free, and it's free to click. Unknown said, why Alec Atane is not in the played 11? I don't think he's ahead of Thomas. Who should we drop? Who should we drop? Gabriel has troubled the batsman with his pace, and remember that he is now coming back to have bowled himself into form. Sheldon, in picking my team, as I said, I'm trying to second guess what Brathwaite is going to do. I think if Mutty is fit, I think he's going to leave out Gabriel. I have to look at the trend and get into the mindset of these guys and how they operate. If Mutty is back, you're not going to drop Roach or Joseph. I do not see Craig Brathwaite dropping older. And the only way, if Mutty is going to come into the team and Gabriel still remain in the team, unless you drop one from number 6. Unless you drop Thomas, you do not include Thomas at number 6. Why Alec Athanaze? Because only 11 can play, and Athanaze does not make my 11 at this time. How can you drop Da Silva? Who are you going to play? He's the best keeper we have had. Sammy St. Ellen, I don't know if you are referring to me, but I clearly said that I will not drop Da Silva. And my team has Da Silva in it. Maybe you are referring to someone else in the chat, because it would be unfortunate if you're asking me that question. So I think you are probably referring to someone else in the chat. Reefer Blackwood, Sherwin, welcome to the show. Sherwin, I want to say something to you, sir. And I misinterpreted your comment the other day, and I apologize to you in the chat. I agree that Sonny Ambrose should be in the ODI squad in South Africa. That is my position. I, however, do not think that he should be in the test squad. Having researched Sonny Ambrose, and I realized that having played 6 test matches and his average is 15, that does not qualify you to be in the test squad. I agree, he has 7 regional centuries and I think 16 half centuries. But his regional average is 31, I think. But when you look at his test average, having played 6 test matches, batted 12 times, his average is only 15. Looking at last year's regional 4-day cricket competition, he did nothing. Of the top 25 batsmen on the first page of the top run scorers in last year's regional 4-day cricket, Sonny Ambrose's name did not mention in the top 25 in the number of runs that batsmen scored in last year's tournament. So he should not be in the test squad, Sherwin. His average is 15 after 6 test match, and last year he did not perform in the regional 4-day tournament. So he should not be in the test squad. I agree with you though, he should be in the ODI squad. Thank you as always for your contribution. And your team, Reefer, Blackwood, Myers should all be dropped. No, Sherwin, nonsense. I'm telling you, that's nonsense. If you drop all of these 3 guys, what is the standard? Who are you going to play? Who are you going to replace them with? Who are you going to replace them with, Sherwin? Sherwin, that's not credible. To drop these 3 guys is not credible. You are not showing yourself to be credible if you are going to drop Reefer and Blackwood. I understand Mayers, but you are not credible. Sherwin, I respect your point of view, and your opinions are always welcome. But to drop Reefer and Blackwood, to say to drop Reefer and Blackwood, that view is not a credible one. You cannot drop Reefer and Blackwood after their performance. Who are you going to play? My played 11. Unknown. My played 11. Let's see here. Brathwaite, Chanderpaul, Reefer, Blackwood, Alec Athanaze, Mayers, Da Silva, Joseph, Gabriel, Roach, and Chase. I guarantee you, Unknown, that will not be the played 11. You have to try and understand what the selectors are doing. You cannot just put an 11 up that you like. You have to be practical, you have to be reasonable, you have to be honest, and you have to try and second guess the selectors. That will not be the playing 11. Da Silva deserve the chance they give Carlton, Dinesh, and Shane Darridge. Welcome to the show, Breaker Environment, legend in the show. Of course, Da Silva is probably one of the safest spot in the team right now. One of the safest spot. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I do not have my glances, but I think it's Daraj. Welcome to the show. Drop Chase, Mayers, and Older, and replace with Jordan, Mutti, and Athenaeus. Brathwaite can also bowl. We do not want to see Brathwaite as a bowler. Brathwaite is a batsman and he needs to perform as a batsman. What Brathwaite did, if Brathwaite gets 5 wickets in a match, and continue to score less than 50 runs per innings, he should be dropped because he's not a bowler. He's a batsman, so he needs to deliver with his bat. We agree that he can get wicket from time to time, but his strike rate, his average is 84 runs, so he's not a bowler. I understand that he can bowl. I will not pick Athenaeus ahead of Thomas. That is not transparency. I agree with dropping Chase, Mayers, and Older, but you cannot pick Athenaeus ahead of Thomas. If Athenaeus is coming into the team, it means that you'll have to drop Chase and Mayers and replace them with Thomas and Athenaeus. It is unfair, unreasonable, irrational, and shows favoritism if you are going to pick Athenaeus ahead of Thomas. Thomas deserves his chance. In last year's regional 4-day cricket tournament, Thomas scored 414 runs to Athenaeus 222. Mark you, he did not play in the first 2 matches this year because he's on tour with the West Indies. He's on tour with the West Indies, that's why he did not play. He deserves his game in the playing 11 ahead of Athenaeus. He deserves his chance ahead of Athenaeus. We have to be rational. We have to stop the bias. We have to stop the favoritism and pick the team rationally. If we do not pick the team rationally, we cannot talk about Desmond Haynes' favoritism. And I do not want to call his name because Desmond Haynes is a legend of West Indies cricket. He has brought us many happy moments. So let me say chief selector. We cannot criticize the chief selector of favoritism if we ourselves are showing favoritism in picking the team. A man scored 414 runs and another scored 212. And you are going to pick the man that scored 222 ahead of the man that scored 414 runs? That will be bias and impartiality. The man Thomas played in Australia 1 match. He made 16 and 12. All of us who watched that match would agree that he looks fairly good at the crease. He never did what we expected, as I said earlier in the show. But how can we drop him after 1 match? Thomas deserves his chance. Athenaeus' chance will come. You know, my challenge with Athenaeus is that in the 2018 Under-19 World Cup, Athenaeus was a leading batsman in that World Cup, bar none. And since then, we have seen Subman Gill, Harry Brooks, Wilkes, and a number of batsmen who Athenaeus outscored in that tournament have developed more than Athenaeus. And that is my concern. Why has these players passed Athenaeus and are now stars on the international scene, and Athenaeus is just a West Indies squad member practically begging for a game? Something is wrong there. Whether it's on the part of Cricket West Indies, whether it's on the part of the ICB, or whether it's on the part of Athenaeus, something is wrong there. Athenaeus should have been further along in his career. Athenaeus should have been a main pick in this West Indies team by now. But his performances after 22 matches in regional 4-day cricket does not justify him to be an automatic pick in this squad. Are you understanding what I'm saying? I have nothing against the young man. Nothing. What I do is disappointed is in that his cricket is not further along at the level of Subman Gill, at the level of Harry Brooks and Wilkes and those guys. That's what I'm disappointed in that Athenaeus is not kicking down the door in regional 4-day cricket. Good morning, Mr. Cricket Forum. No disrespect to you, but Da Silva has been performing with the bat and should be has not been performing with the bat and should be dropped. Also, Chase Mayers too. Moti in, Alec in, and Thomas in. Well, welcome your opinion, welcome your view, Kirk. We all see things differently, and that is the beauty and the dynamic of this community. And I will not fight down your opinion because it's your opinion and we share those opinions. But remember, I said in picking this team, I'm second guessing what the West Indies selectors are doing, and I don't think they're going to drop Da Silva. And I personally, if I was picking the team, I would not drop Da Silva. He's not going to drop anyone from Barbados. Sherwin, Sherwin. The batsman needs to apply themselves and show grit. Agree with you, Danaraj. Sammy St. Ellen. No, not referring to you. I've been hearing the talk about this drop from other persons. I believe so too. I believe so too, St. Ellen, because he did not play. Who did not play? Who did not play, Sherwin? He did not play last year. Who did not play last year? Good morning, Mr. Brown. Good morning, Merrick. I'm going to a match later, Merrick. After Manchester United play that match against Liverpool, I'm going to a match. Who's leading the Formula One? Verstappen is leading the Formula One race ahead of Perez. Leclerc is third. I'm a Leclerc fan, and he's third right now, after 36 after 57, the Formula One. Good morning, Winston King. Good morning. How are you doing? Winston King, I want to say something to you about Chanderpaul. I saw your comment, but do you think you are giving Chanderpaul credit when you said that he threw his wicket away because he was under duress? Are you saying that Chanderpaul is of a weak character? Is he a wimp? That's what you're saying, Winston King? Because that can't be the reason to throw away your wicket in Test cricket, because bowlers are bowling fast and bowlers are bowling accurate. Test cricket is the highest level of international cricket. So you have to be prepared and mentally tough. So I don't think that you made a fair comment about Chanderpaul that he played a bad shot because he was under duress. I think you need to give Chanderpaul more credit than that, because by saying that, you are saying that he's not mentally tough to play Test cricket. Winston King, good morning. Welcome to the show. I rather play a youngster, Alec Devon, at their chance. It doesn't make sense to include Alec. I want to say something on that about youngsters in the West Indies team. The highest level of cricket in the West Indies is the men's senior team. It should not be your age that gets you into the team. It should be your performance. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, because Ashwin is now the number one test bowler. But 2 weeks ago, James Anderson, at the age of 40, was the world number one test bowler. At the age of 40. So many times we have heard that person said that England should drop Anderson. Playing in the West Indies senior men teams. It is not the under 19 team. It is not the under 23 team. It's not a development team. It is the very best players in the region who are performing at their best. Doesn't matter age, whether you are 17 or 70. Once you are doing the job, and I know that they don't play Test cricket at 70, but I'm just using that as a referral to say it doesn't matter your age. I am not going to pick a player in the team because they are young. I'm going to pick a player in the team because they are outperforming the other players. That's the only reason to be selected in the West Indies senior team. The senior team, not age. To be selected in the West Indies senior team is because of your performance. Those are my views, unknown. I would like to hear what you think about it, because the communication is good. The different views are dynamic, but those are my views. What was the rest of the team average in the test match he played? Who you are talking? Who you are talking? Ambris? He's average 15. No, man, we're not going down there. Claude Murphy, all could Lara play. You're not easy. Or Devon and take out Mayers. Yes, I have Devon in my team and Mayers is out. If you look back at my team, Legend Breaker Environment, how you doing? No, it's his first overseas since 2017. He took one in 2017 against England in England. Um, which player? Please tell me the player referring to. Legend. Alec for Chase and Motti for Older. My only two changes. Good choice. Those are good choices. But I always ask the question though. You choose Alec Atanes, and if that's your choice, that's your choice. That is your opinion. But I'm asking the question: where is the justification to play Thomas ahead, to play Alec Atanes ahead of Thomas? What would you tell Thomas? What would you? That's what I'm asking the Claude Murphy. What justification? Because I try to be consistent and to be just in my action. So how would you justify playing Alec Atanes ahead of Devon Thomas? How would you justify that? I am not dropping Older. Well, Older is in my 11. Sherwin, yes, you and I agree with that. Drop Chase and Mayers. If Chase is fit, my reason is I will drop Mayers. No doubt about it. I will drop Mayers and bring in Thomas. Saw there in my 11. I will drop Chase. I will drop Mayers and bring in Thomas. But Chase is not going to be dropped for two reasons. He got 70 in the match against Zimbabwe. So that was the last test match before this test match, the match they played against South Africa. And secondly, you heard the chief selector said that Raston Chase is the best off spinner in the region. So they are not going to drop Chase. While you and I may never have Chase in Zimbabwe or in Australia, they are not going to drop him. The only way Chase will not play unless he's injured. But they are going to drop Mayers and bring in Thomas for Mayers. I am not keeping a player who has been failing for most. Yeah, you should not you should not do that. Atanes need to play the next game. Adrian Bishop ahead of who? Reefer and Blackwood when they have been the more consistent of the West Indian batsmen. Winston King, not me. I never said that. As I said, you are referring to someone in the chat. I never said that. You are right. The persons that desire to play have to play. Stop the bias. That I 100%. I tried my very best not to be biased. Whether it's a Jamaican, whether it's a Leeward Islands, Guyanese, or Barbadian, I try my best not to bias. And that is why in picking the 11, I have to look at the squad that is in South Africa and how the players have performed. And that's why I came up with that 11. I will drop Mayers and I will bring in Thomas. He deserves a chance. He deserves a chance. Sunil Ambrose has 6 at bat in Test cricket. Sunil Ambrose had 6 at bats in Test cricket. Most of the teams struggled in the game he played. Sherwin, check the stats. Check the stats, Sherwin. Please check the stats. He played 6 Test matches at the 12th time. His highest score was 48. He averages 15 in Test cricket. Sunil Ambrose need to make a lot of runs in regional 4-day cricket to get back a game in the Test team. That is my position. I will not pick Sunil Ambrose in the Test squad unless he play regional 4-day cricket and makes a lot of runs. Now, he has started very well in this year's tournament because I think he have gone 4 consecutive half-century. Let's see what he does in the remaining 3 matches starting next week. That's not this week, Sunday, but next week, the 15th. I think the regional 4-day cricket competition recommences on the 15th of March. Let's see what Ambrose will do then. But right now, he do not deserve a Test squad. However, I am the first one to shout it loud and clear, very loudly too, that Sonny Ambrose should have been in the ODI squad, but not in the test squad. Sure, he does not have his game. That his performances in test cricket is not even mediocre, Sonny Sherwin. His performance in test cricket is bad. It's poor. It's not even mediocre. It's West Indies cricket structure that has failed to develop his talent. Yes, Adrian Bishop, as I said, whether you're going to blame West Indies, the Windward Islands Cricket Board, or Athanaze himself, because there's time comes when you ask about what is the responsibility of the player to himself. That question must also be asked. What is the responsibility of the player to himself? That question should also be asked. So I am not going to hear and single out one party. When I see the WICB, or the individual himself, it is very shocking that Athanaze is not a consistent performer. Only 2 matches ago, Chase was the top scorer in the test that West Indies won against Zimbabwe. His place cannot be questioned this soon after that performance. Agree with you, Dane. Agree with you. I agree with you. Please remember, slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Because Alec Athanaze is a Dominican, they didn't help him in development. Alec is a much better batsman than Thomas, notwithstanding all the variables you refer to love in the house. Claude Murphy, how you doing? I believe that runs. It is not how you look. If it was how you look, Shivnarine Chanderpaul would not have played for West Indies. Batting. So that's the only way I can judge you as a batsman. The number of runs you made. Look at Carl Hooper. Carl Hooper is the most stylish of batsmen. From Guyana, just like Chanderpaul. Who would you prefer to watch? Most of you. But who's going to win a test match for you more often? Because Chanderpaul averaged above 50 and Carl Hooper averaged 6. So it's more likely that Shiv is going to win a test match for you more than Hooper. Shivnarine Chanderpaul averages 50, above 50. He looks nowhere as graceful and as classic as Carl Hooper, but Carl Hooper averages 36. So for me, it's not how you look, it's not how you shape at the crease. For me, it's the number of runs that you are playing. And when 2 players played against the same bowlers in the same competition under the and one make 414 runs and the other make 22 runs. There's no way, not because of your look, not because of your age, I'm going to pick the 222 man above the 414 man. That's all I'm saying, Claude Murphy. Athanaze's chance will come, but he needs to make more runs also. Cedar Bryce to blame for the stagnation of many young West Indies cricketers. A lot of persons share that view, but again I say, what about the responsibility of the persons? Sure, Sunil Ambrose, you're a fan of Sunil Ambrose, but as I said, I'm not going to play. Mr. Casanova 1, I want Devon Thomas, Mutty, and Athanaze in for the next game. Rest Myers, Chase, and Older. That's your 11, Mr. Casanova, and it is always welcome. But I do not see Chase and Older being dropped. I would bring in Thomas from. That is my 11. And I'll be putting my 11 back shortly on the screen. Why do you want to drop the silver? Utter nonsense. Who want to drop the silver, Winston King? Who want to drop the silver? Salisa Mohammed, welcome to the show. It's a long time I haven't seen or heard from you. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Pretty Smiles is always welcome. Welcome to the show, Salisha Mohammed. MPEC TV, how you doing? Yes, Empek, no, it's not. I'm going to the Jamaica Senior Cup Cricket Competition. It's a Senior Cup Cricket Competition. Brandon King incidentally made 100 yesterday in the match against Melbourne. Brandon King played for Kingston. He made 100 and I think 136 for Kingston against Melbourne. Melbourne in reply were 32 without loss at the close of play yesterday. Abajay Mansingh, a lot of you would have saw him bowling leg spin in the regional tournament. He is opening the batting for Melbourne, and I really hope that when I reach the match, he will be batting because I want to look at him. So I want to watch that match between Kingston and Melbourne. So it's not a Corrigoat match, MPEC TV. I have 3 Corrigoat matches to go Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday coming up this week. A club team from England is touring Jamaica, and they'll be playing 3 Corrigoat matches this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I'll try and attend those matches. Welcome to the show. I know you must be a happy man because your boy Roach got some wicket. Sherwin, thank you for your comment again. Good comment there. Thank you for your comment. Where is the match being played? The match is being played at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. And the temperature is good. The pitch is said to be good for both batting and bowling. Teams batting first have won 17 of the 38 matches that have played there, and team batting second have won 11. The average first inning score there is 301 or thereabout. I have it, I can show you. And the lowest and the highest fourth inning score is 208. If you win the toss, I think you should bat first. Merrick, I think you should bat first. Claude Murphy. Mr. Brown, you can leave early. Liverpool with 3-1. So you know the score already. Claude Murphy, sit down. Sit down, my friend. Sit down and cut out the rubbish. Which Liverpool? Cut out the rubbish, Claude Murphy. Cut out the rubbish, my friend. Cut it out. Cut it out. You must be in a bar drinking. Buy the bartender a drink, because you must be at a bar this early in the morning talking about Liverpool is going to win. What's wrong with Claude Murphy? What's wrong with you? Are you in a bar or something, Claude Murphy? Take care, my friend. But again, no, Liverpool is going to lose. I was expecting them to play Thomas. Mayers and Older need a break and work on weaknesses. But I will definitely drop Mayers. I think Mayers is going to be dropped and Thomas is going to play. I would have also dropped Older, but as I said earlier, they are not going to drop Older. Craig Brathwaite, who had the power, and the man who decided on the final 11 with contribution from the coach and the vice captain, but in the end, he's the one who decided on the final 11 is not going to drop Older. So I think Older is going to play. I would have dropped Older and keep Gabriel. And if not Gabriel, I would have played Akeem Jordan. But my first choice, my first 4 bowlers would be Joseph, Murty, Roach, and Gabriel. Those would be my 4 bowlers. But I don't think Brathwaite is going to drop Older. Like Athanaze, Cricket West Indies need to seek opportunities for cricketers overseas. Many of the English players play great cricket in Australia to get accustomed to. Adrian Bishop, I understand what cricketer as an agent, and usually it's a cricketer agent that seek those opportunities. It's a cricketer agent. So let's put things in perspective. Usually those opportunities are seek out by the cricketer's agent and not necessarily CWI. So maybe realistically, Athanaze probably need to change his agent, or if he doesn't have one, to get one, because those opportunities are usually seeked out by the cricketer's agent or manager. Some as a manager, some as an agent, some as both, but it is usually seeked out by the cricketer agent or manager. I agree, Mr. Sherwin, Captain Brathwaite is biased. He's not going to drop his fellow countrymen. Is he and Mr. Ains' family them have the same bias ways? Thank you, Kurt, for your comment. I must say that you all know that sometimes the views of you and IR differs, and that's what makes the community dynamic. So I welcome differing views. Ashwin is 35 or 36, so he's not young either. Well said. He's not young either. Well said. I thank you for that. We can't be playing players because of age. We have to play players because of performances. You had to do a show on what happening with DeAndre Dutton. I smell politics. Yes, I think I did a show on that one. And incidentally, Dutton did not play for our team yesterday, the Gujarat Giants in the women Premier League. Ailey Matthews made 43 as her team. The Mumbai Indians won the opening match of the double PL. Matthews made 43, but Dutton was not in her team. So we hope that future in the tournament, she will play more matches. I will not drop anyone for the second test. We have to stop dropping players and give them time to gel. How much time are you going to give Myers? That's the question. How much are you going to give Myers? How much time are you going to give the players? I would definitely drop Myers. But again, your opinion is welcome. And that is what this community is all about. Diverse opinion. We turn down no one because of their opinion, because we welcome your opinion. So your opinion is that you will not drop any of them. My opinion is that I will drop 2. You may be right. I may be wrong. But it may also be vice versa. Okay? So we welcome your opinion. Gujat, yes, breaker environment. Gujat say she injured. Okay. Thank you for that. So Dutton is injured, that's why she's not playing. I agree with you. Age should not be an issue playing cricket. Thank you, Sammy St. Ellen. I really appreciate your support there. You correct us. Alec had to wait. Thank you for your support. And that is it. Different opinions, and all opinions are welcome. I may be dynamic at times. Murphy don't make another comment. He does not reply. He does not say anything. Murphy, you're weak, man. You're weak. Let Devon in South Africa and Alec versus India. Suppose we play the match against South Africa and the top 6 batsmen make runs. It's very unlikely. But if Thomas make runs, Chase make runs, they will not drop Blackwood or Reefer against India. They will not drop. So if Thomas and Chase make runs, are you just going to put in Athanaze for Athanase sake? I do not look at the cricket like that. I go match after match. Do you ever heard the saying that you're as good as your last performance? That's how I look at it. You're as good as your last performance. So I cannot decide that I'm going to play Athanaze against India from now. I cannot do that. It would be wrong. It would be wrong. Drop Chase and Gabriel. MPEG TV. That's good. All right. Alec has to wait for men to fail in this last test against South Africa, or 2 against India, or the first against breaker environment. That is true. While we hope that none of our batsmen fail, Alec Athanaze need to wait his turn. Mr. Supernova 22, long time don't hear from you. If it was me, Chase and Mayers for Mutti and Thomas. Good. Supernova 22, Mutti and Joseph will have to bat at least 50 balls each. Very good point. And those are the points that I like. Solid point. Mutti and Joseph will have to bat at least 50. These tailenders need to contribute to our total. I just take a quick look there at the Formula 1 race. Verstappen is still leading after 57 laps. Perez is chasing him. Alonso, the veteran Alonso is up to 3rd. What happened to the Ferrari? I do not have time to check what happened to the Ferraris. But Alonso is up to 3rd. Mr. Claude Murphy, welcome, man. Mr. Brown, is there any way one can contribute financially to assist you in this wonderful work you are doing? This is the best cricket platform I have seen. Thank you for that, Claude Murphy. I will check it out. But I appreciate that suggestion. Let me check that out and contact you back, Claude Murphy. I really appreciate that suggestion. I will look into it, sir. Athanaze has more to move top-end potential than Thomas. He has potential to play all format. He could also be good as admire. We have no doubt about that, and we share that view. But Adrian, get the point I'm trying to make. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I have nothing against the young man. And you would have seen videos that I applaud Athanaze and give him a lot of credit. I have nothing against the young man. But in looking at the total picture, you have to pick players for the West Indies senior cricket team on performance, not on potential. Let me tell you how I would have picked this right away. You see, when Athanaze came back from the Under-19 World Cup, being the top scorer, maybe West Indies should have drafted him in the test squad immediately on potential. I would not have a problem with that. If they had drafted him in the test squad immediately after his performance in the ODI World Cup, in the ODI World Cup, no one would have a problem with that. But once he regional 4-day cricket and did not make a century, and his average was 28, his techniques, his ability, and his class comes into question. And thus it is now difficult to pick him ahead of persons who have been performing in the regional 4-day cricket tournament. Am I making myself clear? If you had picked him immediately after the ODI World Cup and say we are picking this man and potential, I think that was the same thing that happened to Carl Hooper. Carl Hooper probably played test cricket before he played any regional 4-day cricket. I may be wrong, but that's what happened. If you have treated Athanaze like that and draft him immediately into the West Indies squad, I would not have an issue. But when he played over 20 regional 4-day games and his average is 28 and no century, then you have to question his ability, and he needs to prove now at regional 4-day cricket level if he's good enough to play West Indies. Do you believe Alec Athanaze should play in ODI? Do I believe that Alec Athanaze should play in ODI? Well, let's put it this way. I do not have an issue with him being drafted in the ODI squad. I did a video in selecting the ODI squad for South Africa squad, not the one that West Indies selected. I have Athanaze in that squad. I have Athanaze in that squad. They didn't know you like football 2-0s. I'm a Barcelona fan. Well, last week or 2 Wednesdays ago, we beat Barcelona at the Theatre of Dreams. You remember Breaker Benjamin? Hug up that. Hug up that, my friend. Hug up that. We beat you 2-1 after you scored first and the umpire was umpiring in your favor. You remember that? Hug up that, Breaker Benjamin. Hug up that. We beat you. Some of the comments have passed. If I did not read your comment, but it have slipped by me. Devon is the best backup wicket keeper. He's not a major batsman. He should play if the Silver got injured. Athanaze is a recognized batsman, not Devon Thomas. Frame, welcome to the show. And I've said it time and time again. To me, batting is runs. And Devon Thomas have been outscoring Athanaze in regional 4-day cricket. I've said it. It is not your age that should make you play for West Indies, but the number of runs that you have made. I've missed some comments. I apologize for missing those comments, but they have passed me by, so I apologize. I always want to read your comments. So we would never come on to the Egyptian king. Claude Murphy, we'll see. The match probably starts. It's now 11:30, so the match, hit the thumbs up, Sherwin. Thumbs up, Sherwin. Thumbs up. Okay, thank you all for tuning in. Please slash a like on the video and please click on that subscribe button icon and corner. It was a wonderful show. I enjoy your. This is my 11 that I'll be playing. This would be my 11. I put my 11 there. It will be Brathwaite, Chanda Paul, Reefer, Chase, Devon Thomas, Joshua De Silva, Older, Alzari Joseph, Budakesh Moti, and Kemar wrote. Save that 11. And when his name Wednesday morning, come back to the show and congratulate me. And that you will see that I'm getting into the mind of the West Indies selectors. In more likelihood than not, that is the 11 that is going to play. The only way Chen not play unless he's injured, and they will bring in Alec Atanes for him. But barring no injury, this will be 11 that is going to play. And you win the toss and bat first at the Wanderers. The average first inning score is 210, and the lowest fourth inning score is 208. The team batting first have won 17 matches, and the team batting second have won 11. Please slash a like on the video, click on that subscribe button. I thank you for your comment, and thank you for your comment, and and Clan Murphy, thank you for that suggestion, and welcome to all of you who have participated in the show. Have a happy Sunday now, and one love. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved one. It was a pleasure. You made my day. God bless.